is what you got.
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back. Boardroom talks. It's been a while. I know it's been a while. You can only blame me. You know, the people have been asking, and we made it happen. Got the panel back together. May have a few more faces jumping in and jumping out throughout the stream, so we'll just see about that. You can look at the face on the thumbnail to know who they may be. But for now, we are getting started, and got my lovely guest to join me first, but definitely not least. Man like Luke, spotlight on Spurs. How you doing, my bro?
I am all good, bro. I'm all good. How about you?
I'm all well, man. I'm all well. Could be better, you know. The world of Tottenham could be making us feel a little bit better, but hey, this is where we're at. Elijah, you know, familiar face, pretty much on the channel every other day now, but you guys know him enough now. Too much of E. It's in the name. Definitely having a lot of E right now. Pause.
There's definitely too much of me on the internet, bro. But I'm doing good, fam. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad the series is back, man. You know what I'm saying? I love Boardroom talk, so I'm glad to be back, fam.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get it up and running fully for the season. I think next week we'll start making it. We're gonna try and make it a weekly show this year. That's one thing. I know it's hard to get everybody on, but we're trying to make it a weekly show this season because we're trying to do more shows, man. We're trying to speak Spurs a little bit more, and hopefully we're not going to lose as many games. So a lot more positive things to talk about. And then just below me, pause. But man like Alex, who has had a lot to say in the chat, but now he's here to show face. How you doing, bro?
Well, I haven't said a lot in the chat. I just rattle you. I just absolutely rattle you. You know what I mean? So I don't like I said. I'm a main event. Under Professor of Truth and Entertainment. I don't watch. They watch a main event. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like I let the wafflers sit there and just worry about themselves, and the main event just cooks. That's it, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like,
All
people say silly things, you know what I mean? Like you were saying a lot of silly things, you know what I mean?
And I was going to say the same about you.
Pat on the back, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of pats on the back, you know what I mean?
Man said the Professor of Truth.
Broad shoulders you got, bro. Broad shoulders you got, bro. Broad shoulders, yeah, with a big beard, yeah? Broad shoulders, bro. Broad shoulders, bro. Like, pats on the back, yeah? But certain players, like, you know what I mean? Who are kids still, you know what I mean? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Definitely,
it's not even a trophy, bro. Even though we got a European trophy, but
anyway. Man said it's not even a trophy. I think you're forgetting you're not speaking to Arsenal fans. Yeah, there is one. Look,
I know that. But it's the way that you're talking. It's like you won the trophy. You got two youngsters in the team, bro. But anyway, I digress. I digress. Back to you.
No, it is it's a pleasure to have Alex on. It's been a while since we've actually spoken football and got into some of our debates about some of the things we disagree on, which is a lot. Alex disagrees with me on a lot, and to be fair, a lot of Spurs fans, and that's what makes this a fun panel. So make sure you guys smash the like on the video when you enter. Make sure you're showing support to their channels. If we can get some of the mods to drop their channels in the chat just throughout the stream, will be much appreciated. The links are in the description for everyone's, so you don't need to go far. Spotlight on Spurs for Luke, too much of E for E, Mr. Box All Office TV for Alex, and you can find everyone there. But let me just come to the chat before we get into everything Spurs and what is currently going on, because the Spurs are confident that we will have or budget will be available. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means, but we need to get into all of that. But before we do, let me just come to the chat. Big up to Jimmy for the raid. Raided nice and early. You know, the Chelsea world champions, 25. Big up to you, and big up to Jimmy for the raid. Sharky Show. I've actually changed the title. That was just a hold title for the moment. And we got through that because Rodrigo's not coming Spurs. We got that confirmation earlier on today as well. So as much as he might, apparently a bid was made, Ben Jacobs shut that down instantly. So yes, we are all aware that he's not coming to our club. We are. But Ghosted, big up to you, my bro. Yeah, man, going mad with the streams today. We're going mad with the streams all month. That's what we're on right now, man. Durag Douglas, big up to Keys. As Luke says there, make sure you like the video, make sure you're subbed. Levy out says Alex been benching. Alex, do you actually know your bench this time? Because the last time we asked, I remember me and E were on stream. We was on Sav's show, and you didn't really know what you were benching. You said, "I've just come back from the gym. I've been doing a pump. I've been benching," but you didn't even know what you was benching. Do you now know what you're benching?
I know how. I think I know, but why would I tell you guys, bro? That's for me to know you to find out, bro. You get what I'm saying? I don't need to tell everybody what you know what I mean? Like you don't need to work out for yourselves, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is this? Yeah, I mean,
Fair enough. Fair enough. We ain't gonna pressure you, Alex. I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question.
I'm saying.
You don't want to reveal.
What
It's
is
fine, like
this?
you said. It's for us to find out. Maybe you guys will catch Alex.
How are we supposed to find out unless you stalk him, bro?
Maybe what we're hoping is that one day a delinquent catches Alex in the gym, and if someone comes up to you, their phone out, you know why, Alex. You just know why. They've caught you.
Out of context, that's crazy. Imagine just a random person with a phone just approaching you. Like, what do you bench? What do you bench?
Alex, we found your bench. No, that would be funny. Don't do that, people. It'll be a bit weird. Don't get it wrong. But big up to Guy Thompson in the building. Big up to Dr. Durag, Henry Fong TV, and then Karma, of course, as well. Big up to you. But look, let's start there. The report did come out earlier. I'll share my screen just so everybody can see. And I'm gonna come to you first, Eve, because I want to understand what you think this means. But Tottenham, as can be reported by Alice, was reported by Alice to go today. Tottenham are confident they will have the funds to carry out their transfer plans this summer. Frank is prioritizing both that of a central attacking playmaker and another centre back with good level experience. But that first line, E, what do you make of it, bro? What does it mean?
Funds where? What funds, bro? We keep obviously the Saudi thing in it, but bro, these are the same man that was saying we can't sign Palhinha because we need Basuma to leave. Now, fair play, we got Basuma on a loan deal. Palhinha, sorry, on a loan deal. But like, we got him on a loan deal because we couldn't pay the money because we're waiting for Basuma to free up funds. So I don't know where the funds are coming from. If you think 15 million euros is going to be able to fund one of those two options, you're insane. I can't lie though. I've seen some things on Twitter. Thomas Frank might be looking like a fraud. I'll be real, he might be looking like a fraud. Another centre back. We don't need a fullback. I can't lie. Not saying a fullback here. The only thing I can think of is he needs he's going to use Ben Davies at left back. If he does that, he's a fraud. And I'm not trusting him. I was considering trusting him after the Arsenal performance and hearing about the Newcastle shit. If we have Ben Davies, if he uses Ben Davies as a viable left back option, he is a fraud, and I don't trust him. That's all I can say about that. He might be a fraud.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. I think we've seen some stuff, and you know, I know what you're talking about, but we're gonna get into that. We are, because I have seen exactly what you are talking about. Some quotes from Frank regarding, you know, the positions and if he's confident with the team and so on. But we'll get to that. But still, I'm just trying to understand, because from this quote, what I'm taking is Spurs don't know whether they have the funds already. I would think that going into a transfer window, you have a set budget put aside, and it's like, we're going to go and try to spend within this budget. We're going to maybe maximum, let's say 250 million. You would have that budget put aside, and that's there. You take that out of the bank, you put it aside, so you know that's what, you know, when you go on holiday, you got to spend the money. You put that aside. You don't just spend it from your bank. You usually have like a certain amount separate, and that's your spending money. What is going on as to why Spurs haven't done this already? Luke, I'm going to come to you. What did you take from that sentence, line, phrase, that Spurs are confident they will? Like, that word will is my biggest issue, but what did you take from it?
I'll be honest, I was more concerned about the second line. I was like, we need far more than that. But I think it's basically what they're saying is that A, they can get the quality in that's needed, but B, they can get enough players out the door, because this whole buy to sell thing, I think it was just misinterpreted. I don't think it's about money. I think it's about space in the squad. We're not going to sit there and have 4 players, 5 players that can't be registered. So I think it's all about, they're confident they can ship out who they need to ship out. And they're confident that will bring in, we'll be able to sign enough players of enough quality. But I'm worried that if it's only 2 players, personally, if that's all they're looking at is 2 players.
Yeah, I think that we're all worried if it's just two players. To be fair, the two players, we're going to get onto that. Alex, I'll quickly come to you because I think we want to know how the main event is feeling. You know, the professor of truth. Can you give us your insight into what you take from this line and what this means? You know, Spurs being confident they'll have the funds to carry out the transfer plans this summer.
I've got no idea what they mean by it, to be honest with you. It's the same old thing. I've heard it before. You know, like I say, it's another thing where I've kind of got immune to it now. I don't really, you know, I've heard Alistair Gold make these quotes before, and it's kind of getting very, very boring, very, very easily, really, to be honest with you. I don't know what I couldn't really understand what it means, because the only thing I know what I know at the moment is that we need to sell because of how many players we've got in the squad, because we've got how many players over what we need to have for this Champions League squad. So we're going to have to sell players, and most of them have to be foreign players. That's all I understand from the situation. Regarding the money, what we have, what we can buy and stuff, I don't know, to be honest with you. The only thing the only opinion that matters to me at the moment, at this stage, is that when I look at my forward line, it's bang average. So I need forwards. That's all I need is forwards. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd love to get rid of Bentancur quick time. You know what I mean? Basuma, big time. You know what I mean? But like for me at the moment, I'm looking at my my forward line. Sorry, I'm sorry that I'm not confident whatsoever. The only one that I'm feeling a little bit confident, and still I still think he needs a little more help and work, is Kudos. That's it. And he can't do it on his own. And now we've got no Maddison in the team now, who is our best creator, not Kulusevski, not Brendan Johnson, below average. Was it below average Sterling? I'm not having that one. You know what I mean? So sorry, that's all that matters to me at the moment. I need proper forwards, because that's the only thing that's going to wake me up. You know, get me excited, get me off my shit seat, as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, I think that resonates with a lot of us, and I think all Spurs fans. And when I was doing my show with Sava, you know, I think everybody in the chat was in agreement that we probably need a striker, a 10, and a left winger. We need all three. Like, we need somebody in all three of those positions. But as Spurs fans, we do have to recognize our position and know that that's just not what Spurs are going to do. Spurs aren't going to sign 4 forwards in one window. It's just not realistic. Or 5, I should say, because we signed Tell as well. It's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. Looking at it realistically, how many forwards can Spurs get? We probably get a 10, then we probably get a player that plays across the front line, whether it be a left winger and a striker, or somebody that can play in the left wing and the striker position. I don't think it's going to be possible to make all those positions happen, as well as, like we've said, a centre-back that we need with a good level of experience. I'm still just really confused, because the biggest thing for me is that will. When I say the will, it's like, would the funds not already be there? And it seems like what it's alluding to is like what you've said, Luke and Alex, is that we need to make some sales before we bring in players. And the only way we're going to get to our budget, that is, let's just say 200 million, is by selling a few players to reach that amount eventually. Which is where there's a problem, because we know Spurs are horrible at selling players. We are absolutely awful at getting rid of our players. And I don't think it's helped when we've taken the likes of Richarlison, taken the likes of Davies, taken the likes of Basuma. Well, Davies, I think we take out that equation, because I don't know if people know, but I've actually heard Davies is going to be a part of the leadership group in some contingent going into the season. So Davies looks like he's staying around at least for another year when his contract runs out. But more importantly, Richarlison and Basuma were 2 players where we could probably bring in decent fees for. They're traveling with the squad. They're playing with the squad. Doesn't make sense as to why they haven't gone anywhere as of yet. But coming on to that second line, where I think a lot of you have already briefly spoken and touched on, what was the issue? Someone said that they were concerned we need another centre back. It was you, E, right?
We need a fullback. We don't need a centre back. We got a bunch of centre backs already. Ben Davies about to be the backup left back. That's the problem. Unless you're going to put Van der Ven out there, Well, bro, unless Van der Ven's the new left back, Ben Davies is gonna be the left back. That's the problem, fam. How old is Ben Davies? Like 66. Like, why is he here? And why is he playing as a backup left back? That made no sense to me, bro. Like, and the thing is, like, it's not that Frank said, it's not like he came out and said we need a fullback, but we might not get one. It's we don't need a fullback because we have Ben Davies. That's what he said. He didn't say in that quote, but he said that quote. We don't need a fullback because we have Ben Davies. He's a fraud, bro. This manager's a fraud, fam. I swear he's a fraud. If I see Premier League minutes, Ben Davies is starting a left back. Bro, I want him gone, bro. I don't care. I want him gone. He's a fucking fraud.
You can't say anything bad about the manager, though. Can't say anything bad about the manager, though.
I'm gonna say something bad about this
manager. You can't say anything bad about the manager, though, can you?
Ben Davies,
because it makes people emotional, isn't it? It makes people emotional, though, isn't it?
Hey, yeah? I'm gonna make people emotional.
You don't like the manager. If you say anything bad about the manager, you don't like the manager, isn't it? You know what I mean?
That's
no, but let's be honest, though. No, let's be honest, though. If he has chosen to keep Ben Davies in some capacity, I don't think that's the issue. The issue is if Ben Davies is the second option at left back. Now, what I actually think is the case is he's come out and, you know, shown respect. Davies is a character that we've seen has lasted all these managers. There's quite clearly something Davies does behind closed doors that's an intangible that none of us see because his quality on the pitch doesn't produce that. But every single manager, when it was Jose, believed him and put a lot of faith in him and used him and played him. Conte, same thing. Ange, same thing. I don't think we can be mad at the prospect of Ben Davies staying and playing some minutes next season. As much as I don't want him, I've come online and said so many times I want this guy gone. He's not good enough. He was never good enough. He was signed as a backup and he's a backup 10 years later. That literally talks about the type of player he is. He's always going to be a backup. But at the same time, clearly there's some leadership or some type of intangible that he brings away from the pitch where he adds and where he's going to help the team.
Let's read this quote in it because I got tired of hearing that. Thomas Frank on fullbacks. Yeah, I think so. We have enough fullbacks. That's what he's referencing. Because right now we have Ben and Spence. So fuck what you're talking about. We have Ben and Spence. Not that we have Spence and Ben. We have Ben Davies as a fullback option.
Okay. So
this man is a fraud.
So this is where people need to know what they're talking about. Then, yeah. So when people say when one of our left backs gets injured, right, and then we don't have players, and Ben Davies is our left back. Right, I don't want to hear no moaning from Tottenham fans saying that Frankie's not back then.
But don't we all know that the real left backup option is Spence. Spence is the problem with Spence, which is also a good problem, is because he plays left back so well. What it will do is it will make the Tottenham board think, oh, we have a backup for both positions because Spence can play left back and he can play. It's a bad thing. That's what I said. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing.
It happened last season.
That's where we're going to be stuck. Is if Spence gets injured, then where are we?
That's the problem. The problem is you keep on saying the word backup again. Like I said, if you're going to start saying backups again, you might as well just get Reguilon back.
That's literally what it, bro. We need to sign.
You might as well just get Reguilon back because he was a backup. What's the point? You know what I mean? Like I said, this is the mistake we're making.
The situation we have right now, Alex.
We're playing the situation. We're speaking the situation, but the thing is,
but if you want to talk ideal scenarios, we can talk ideal scenarios. And the ideal scenario is like me and E have spoken about numerous times. I'm pretty sure you was in the chat that show when we said we want a player that can compete with Udogie because Udogie wasn't even good last year. Udogie was poor last season. Ideally, we need someone who's better than Udogie. 100%.
Let's be real, Jords. Let's be honest, innit? Let's say Udogie, because Udogie's injured right now. So we could possibly go into the season with Spence playing left back. Let's say Spence has to come off, right? Or Porro has to come off. Ben Davies is going to be at fullback. Who's going to play right back? It's Archie Gray, bro. And we're back with Archie Gray as a fullback.
I'm making.
And Archie Gray is shit as a fullback, bro. He's terrible. So this is the problem.
He's not even good in his own position.
Archie Gray. Ben Davies and Archie Gray are going to be our fullback options. And they're both shit. As fullbacks, they're both shit. This is the problem. Like, we only have 3 viable fullbacks, and we're going to be in 4 competitions. and this manager's come out and said we don't need a fullback. He's smoking crack. And that's why he's on fraud watch for me. He has to be on fraud watch with a statement like that. Has to be.
It's not even that. It's not even that you haven't got a youngster, but it's just that you look at the options. You're sitting there saying who's competing. Like if you're happy with those options that are not competing, well, even a youngster. How many centre backs do
we even have? We have so many, bro.
So
we have like 7 centre backs.
So at the moment, we have obviously our senior centre backs in Romero, Van der Ven, Danso, Dragusin, and then we have Takai, Vuskovic, Dorrington, Phillips. But
Dorrington's on loan. The ones on loan, Phillips on loan. But we have at least 6 that are not 5
at the club. No, we just have
Vuskovic has been placed on the loan list. So let's say he ends up getting loaned.
Yeah.
So we have 5 centre backs and 3 fullbacks. So unless we're going to be playing 3 at the back, it makes no sense to go for another centre back when we only have 3 fullbacks. Especially when our options are Archie Gray and Ben Davies on each side.
I don't mind. I don't mind going for a centre back. I'll be completely honest. I don't mind it. I think we should be looking at a left-sided centre back. I think Van der Ven's going to play left back quite a lot this year. But then that quote,
but Frank didn't say that though.
That's what I'm saying. That's the key part there. That
if he said I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem if he said Ben, Spence, and Mickey. I would have no problem. He didn't mention Van der Ven once.
Yeah.
The first player that he mentioned was Ben Davies. That's the issue for me, bro.
He did see out the game at left back in Newcastle, though. He did see out the game.
You watched the game, Jords. How good was he at left back?
What, Mickey?
No, Ben Davies.
Oh no, Ben Davies was horrible. I'm talking about Mickey. Van der Ven was sore out the game at left back.
Van der Ven is our starting left centre back. So who's going to play left centre back if he has to go to left back?
I think you could play Danso. I think you could play Danso on the left, and I think you could play Romero on the right. And then you can play Van der Ven on the left back.
I'm not mad at that.
It. The centre back that comes in has to be a left centre back. That's the problem. Because if your left centre back is your left back cover, then you have to have cover for the left centre back. And at the moment, all of the options that we've got, they're all right-footed. So
I think Danzo's a starter, in my opinion. If I'm really honest with you, I'll be honest with you as well. I wouldn't mind him as captain. If I'm really honest with you, there you go. Put my man in the hat.
Danso as captain. Sometimes, Alex, you just be saying things.
I'm not just saying it. No, I'm not just saying. No.
I remember before when you said Ben Davies.
Okay.
No, wait. Let me land, yeah.
Let me put some context to it.
I'm going to give you a professor. I'm going to give you a lesson here, yeah.
No, because you jumped on it. You just jumped on it.
In our last boardroom, you spoke about how Ben Davies was our best centre back.
Oh yeah, okay. But we're not talking about that though. That's what
you should. For one, no. You can't then tell me now. You want Danso
you're not even giving me any context, bro. You're not even give me any context to it. You're not even giving me any context to it. Let me set the context to it. Yeah. When I look at the options we've got, yeah, we've got Romero, who's a hothead, right? I don't trust him as captain, right? You're telling me that Bentancur's going to do it? Right, he's only got 1 year left on the contract.
Romero's a hothead, but in what sense? Because like this hothead stuff, he does fly into challenges every now and then, but he's not a hothead. He's actually not a hothead.
For me, I don't think he's more captain material.
We need to dispel this myth because to say he's a hothead, he has less red cards than Basuma has in the last.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, bro.
But nobody calls Basuma a hothead. He's just a bozo.
The point is, though, okay. So when we look at the finish, of the game,
no, it's the facts though. When it's Romero, it's a hothead because he's he's angry. He's aggressive.
So what about his form last season then?
He's a bozo. No,
so what is his form last season then? What was his form last season? He was up and down last season.
He was up and down. Romero was poor
up and down last season. So what about Danso?
Also the guy that says
was everyone.
Andy's system.
So what about Danso? What about Danso though? Danso is consistent. Yeah, he's consistent.
We saw Danso for all of maximum of 10 games last year. He was injured when he came.
I'm sorry, but I will take him all day long when bloody Romero all day long, bro. I'll take him all day long, bro. Okay, so based on what you're saying, then you're basing your captain, who's not even signed a new contract yet, right? To stick with him.
I'm going with the guy that leads his country at this moment in time. The guy that's won trophies.
Argentina, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, look at the players in Argentina, bro.
What are you trying to say? Argentina ain't good. Are you trying to say Argentina ain't good?
They're good, but this. I mean, come on now. Look at this context to it, bro. This got world class players, bro. Danso at least
he's
the
captain
of
world-class players. That's my point. He's got the experience leading. I want a player that's got experience leading. Now, I'm with you when saying that Romero's not a traditional captain. He's not vocal. He's not a leader in the sense that he's going to shout at the team and get onto them constantly in the game and get them all focused. I agree with you. Danso has some of those qualities, but Danso's not better than Romero on the pitch. So we can't, for one, have a captain that's not even better than Romero. He needs to be a better player than Romero to even make the pitch.
What do you mean?
Okay,
so what about McGuinn?
So you're telling me he should start over Romero now?
Aston Villa's McGuinn. What's his name? Aston Villa's McGuinn. Yeah, is he the best player?
It's not being the best player. For one, McGinn was a captain before they signed players that were better than him. You do know that.
Is Henderson the best captain? Was Henderson the best player? Was Henderson the best player at Liverpool then?
Again, he was a guaranteed starter because of the quality that he brought. You're not. Danso doesn't start, bro. What are we doing here?
I'm sorry, but no disrespect. Yeah, but no disrespect. But why is Danso not starting in the first place then, bro? Let's be honest here.
No, come on, he's not better than Romero and Van der Ven. He's not. He's not better than that.
Based on what?
Whether they're
based on what?
Based on everything. He's not better than them. He's a good player. He's a good solid player. He's a good solid player, but he ain't better than Romero and he ain't better than Van der Ven. When they're playing, if they're playing consistently, he's going to play a lot. He's going to play a lot of minutes. 100%. I think he'll play a lot of minutes. He ain't on their level. He could get to their level, but he ain't on their level. If people are coming in for him, let's not forget he's again a good player, but Wolves were interested in him. We nicked him off Wolves. Van der Ven had Liverpool. Romero's probably got Atletico Madrid. He's got he's not at that level just yet. But the problem is what you're just highlighting to me is that we've got no leaders. Like we just don't have leaders. That's a problem. That's a problem in this squad.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I need consistency in my team. I need consistency in my team.
Vicario as a leader.
Yeah, Vicario's a leader.
To be honest with you, I think Vicario is very, very shouty. But then actually when it comes down to it, like when he's commanding his box and things like that, I'm not saying he's not a leader, but when I'm talking about a captain, like a leadership group.
No, Luke, just say it. You're calling him a bit of a pussy. That's what you're saying. You're saying he loves to shout when it's just our players. When the other man around, like he's moving mad. He's not willing to get out there. Like, what are you trying to say?
I wouldn't say he's the most vocal when the ball's coming into the box. He's screaming for the ball and things like that. I don't think he's that vocal. I think he is a talker. But again, he's not. I wouldn't want him as my captain.
Sorry, I don't know what people are doing here. Like I've seen people in the chat saying Romero is the best leader. What we doing here? What we bloody well doing here? I swear. I don't even know what we're doing here. I don't even know what we're doing here. I just don't know.
With Sonny being our captain, the reason why Sonny was our captain because he led by example. That was it. Is he may not have been the most vocal person, but one thing Sonny would have done would have been the first in training, would have been the last out, would have been speaking to all the players. He would have been setting an example. So he would have led by example in that sense. He would have showed you what a proper captain and how a person should commit themselves to the club. With Romero, again, he has all of those qualities. Romero shows the passion, he shows the commitment, he shows that he's out there on the pitch, giving it his best and trying to put it out there. Now, there is obviously times where Romero's not the best player on the pitch. There's times when I'm watching Romero and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? But what I do think is, again, you've spoken so many times, Mr. Box Office, about last season, about Andrew's system. Every time we had you on a show, you wanted to break down how you noticed in the Chelsea game how the high line was going to kill us. And then from then, you was Angel. You noticed that. So you knew that the defensive structure was a miss. You've said this about 20 times to me. So you know that the structure was a mess. So it's not right for you to judge players on that structure. Do you not think that's fair? You've seen Romero play at a higher level under Conte, under Stellini. In those years, you've seen him play at a way higher level than he did under Ange.
Yeah, but he still wasn't consistent though. He's been inconsistent for most of his time at Tottenham. So for me, it goes to the player that is just consistent on the board. Whether he's 7s, 8s, he's consistent on the board. Like I said, Romero's up there, down there, up there, down there, up there, down there, up there, down there. You can't have a captain like that.
Your captain's got to play week in, week out.
I think Danso can play week in, week out.
Only if Van der Ven's
no doubt about it.
But I mean, how do you fit Danso in the team then? I need to understand how are you trying to work the team? How is the team?
Well, at the moment, because we've got a problem with Doji at the moment, you play and Spence. I don't think you can just play Spence all the time left back anyway, right? I play Van der Ven on the left, right? left back, and then I'll play Danso and Romero in centre back.
Nah,
And then you can
no.
move.
We're
and
not
then-
dropping Spence.
Though,
We're not dropping Spence. We're not dropping Spence to bring Danso in, just to make him captain. No. We're not doing that.
And then you could change it up to you could swap it to like then moving it along, and you can play a back three, right?
The back three makes sense. I actually think the reason we're looking at another centre back is because of that. I think he wants to have the option to go to a back three at times, and for him to have that option, we need at least let's be real, 5 senior centre backs going into the season. Dragusin's not going to be available. I've heard it come out today for another 10 weeks before he's actually back available for Spurs. So you're then looking at October, maybe even a little bit longer. So that's another 2 months into the season without another centre back on. So we're only going into the season with 3 centre backs. You can understand why we need one, especially when you consider out of the 55 games last season, Romero was only available for 26. Van Ven was only available for 22. So we're looking at 2 injury-prone centre backs. Do you not feel like we have to sign another senior centre back in order to combat that?
Not before a fullback, fam. Not
It's
before
about priorities.
Bro, we literally, like, I understand the injury argument, but we have Vuskovic and we have Takai. I know when Dragoshin come back, I understand that it'll be a couple months, but we have 5 to 6 centre backs in and around the first team. We don't need another one, especially if we're not playing 3-back consistently. We're going to be playing 4-back because the manager hasn't even tried to play 3-back all throughout the pre-season. This was the time to try 3-back if he was going to play it. He's played one formation like every game, basically, which is 4-3-3 pretty much. So we know what formations his go-to. And we have to base it on the fact that we've only seen one formation. So if we're going to be playing 4-3-3, we need a fullback. Even if we're playing 3-back, we need a fullback anyway, or a wing back, or we need some form of back, fam, like Gal's back, but preferably. But in terms of football, we need something to go on at the wing back. Something.
I thought you said a Gal's back right then, and I was like, "Yo, that's a bit mad."
That's a bit insane, personally. That's a bit insane, personally, isn't it? I can't lie, you be on the rival shows a bit too much, innit, bro? To hear that.
That's what you, bro. It sounded
Personally.
like that for a second. That's all I'm saying. It just sounded like that. Like,
I think it's more. It's worrying.
You're looking at players' backs. Don't even.
Bro,
look
it's
at me
worrying
like
that I say a Gyal's back, and the first thing you think of is another man. That's the most worrying thing about that.
Is that not his name? His name's a Gal. So that's what I heard, isn't it? That's all I'm saying. I thought you said that.
I know you do a lot of shows with a lot of rival shows. You've seen a lot of people in the day. You've probably been on about 5 streams today. I know how hard you work, but thinking of men this much is a bit worrying, fam. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Just a little bit, fam. But we need a fullback. We need a fullback.
No, we do. We do need a fullback. And you're not lying about it, innit? The confusing thing is I don't know if we no, you all would have seen. We saw a report that come out like 2 weeks ago saying that Spurs are actively targeting a left back, right? I don't know. That wasn't just me that saw that. I know that many people saw that. It saw that we were actively targeting a left back. So I don't know if it's, smoke and mirrors, because we all know throughout the window, you get all these things. Spurs are looking for this. Spurs are looking for this. Spurs are targeting 6 players. We never get 6 players. Every January window, we get told that we want 4 players. We always end up with 1 or 2. So I don't know if it's one of those things and one of those scenarios where they've come out and they've just said, Spurs want this, Spurs want that. But I think the number 10 is key. The number 10 is key. And that's where I think I want to focus right now, is because what do we do about the creative problem? Watching, I suppose, let me come to you, Luke, here. What was your biggest takeaways from those reserve games and what we needed to improve on? Because everyone said the forward line, but what specifically do you think was missing from the game and from our team, from those 2 friendly games?
It's the same it was all last year. It was the same thing. We lack creativity. The only player that can create anything that was consistently available last year was Porro. Maddison and Kulusevski weren't available enough. So I think this is all part of the problems that we were having last year. As I came on and said to everyone, everyone keeps telling me that this is all just down to Ange, and I kept saying it's not down to Ange. It's down to every single part of this club needs changing. The attacking players that we got at this club are not good enough. So when you actually look at him being one of the top scorers throughout the season with these players, that's an achievement, because none of these players are that good. You go through all the different squads, and most of these players don't get in the top 8 teams. They don't get in. So this is always going to be a problem. Kudu's coming in is a big signing, but I always was like, we need more than just that one. that was just the way that it was. And then obviously then you had Kulusevski and Maddison now getting injured as well. So that's like, oh, now we need even more. So the right winger was the big priority for me. That and the 6 were the main ones. We've got them, but the 10, the left wing, the striker, there needs to be options there. I think we need 2 of them free. And then I still feel like we need a fullback, but it's all about priorities. That's the bottom line, is that I know that it's not enough 100%, but we have got Van der Ven, we have got Archie Gray, we have got coverage that can play in these positions in the fullback areas, but we don't have anyone that can play in that 10 position. And we need to score goals. I think Frank will make us better defensively, so we might be able to get away with not as good defenders. But he ain't going to be able to create goals from this squad. We need more players to be able to create openings, especially against low block teams.
Haven't we been told though that? And please just take me as the host when I'm saying these questions, because people don't say you said these things. Yeah, I have said some of these. So yeah, I have people in the chat. I have. But haven't we been sold on that the fact that Thomas Frank was brought in to coach players, improve players, and make some of these attacking players a lot better? You know, we've seen what he's done at Brentford. And a lot of the times when, you know, people are referencing his Brentford team, they always reference the attacking players, what he's done with the attacking players. Do we not look at some of our current attacking players and think that he can improve some of them and bring the best out of, I don't know, an Odebo or a Tell or Johnson, whichever the player is?
Yeah, 100%. He should definitely improve some of the players. I think no one played to their level last year, so we're expecting an increase on that regardless. But the simple facts is that at Brentford, he played a very particular way of football, and what teams set up against him were going to be very, very different to what he's going to be expecting at Spurs. If you speak to a lot of Brentford fans, they said, like all managers, this isn't just a Frank thing. Low block teams are difficult to break down. Brentford didn't play against many of them last year, so he's going to be coming up against that continually, and that's when you need your star players that are able to just create some openings. And we struggled all last year with it. We've struggled with it for a long time, really. So again, I kept saying the same things I said when Andrew was here. The same signings are needed. The same improvements are needed. We've done some of the off the pitch stuff in terms of changing the board. Hopefully, the medical team have changed a little bit as well. The scouting, hopefully, it looks like we're identifying a different profile, i.e., Premier League players, as opposed to signing 18, 19-year-olds. Some have not even played in the Premier League. So I hope that's a good thing, and we keep doing that. But this wasn't just going to be a quick fix, and that's why I kept saying, you go through all the streams I've been on, everyone kept telling me this is Ange, and I'm like, no, he might be a part of the problem. His tactics might be a part of the problem, but a lot of these players are simply not good enough. So you can't expect Frank's not going to turn that round in a month or two. That's going to be a long-term thing.
Yeah. So go on, Alex, bringing you in here. Same question, same thing. Where are you at with this? A creative solution. What is the creative solution? Who do we go and get? But also, do you think there's any players that Frank can bring the best out of?
And the only one that at the moment you've got a little bit of hope with is Kudos, but I don't think it's just going to happen straight away. And also, like I said, we've got 2 games a week next season. So we've got the Super Cup in I think next week. I think it was next week. I think it is. So
next Wednesday.
So I don't think he's got that much time. I mean, he's worked on the defense, and you can see that he's worked with the defense, and it looks better. But I don't think he needed do too much to that defense to make it good anyway. To be honest with you, because I think it was just the way that we were playing under the last manager. That's why it was so weak, if you know what I mean. So, but I do think we do need a forward, because I think with us focus on the back, at the back, to be more, defensively structured, you need players that know what they're doing. So Kudos will be one. I think Grealish is another. Paqueta, I'll take Paqueta all day long, because I think he's better than what we got. I don't know. I think I'm struggling on forwards at the moment. Actually, strikers at the moment. But if we can get rid of Richarlison, because I just think Richarlison is absolutely I mean, look at the misses that he missed. You know what I mean? It was just awful, wasn't it? He couldn't score if it was flat in the face, really. I think that, unfortunately for me, Alderbear just is not impressing me at the moment. I don't know if he's actually a winger. Maybe he's a number 10. I don't know.
Wait. How?
I was just going to say, Alex, don't get used to this, but I actually agree with you, and then you just went to Odebear.
No, but...
I've been seeing this a lot recently from the Alex, you know, Sava said this as well.
I hate Odebear so much, bro. He's not cooking, fam.
I didn't get the time to stop and actually interrupt because we was at the end of the show. But what do you mean you've not been impressed with Odebear's been cooking in preseason?
How is he cooking? How is he cooking?
I better not hear no GA arguments, bro.
Is that what you think?
Don't tell me about
GA.
GA.
How is he cooking?
Don't give me GA arguments.
What do you mean he's cooking? What do you mean he's cooking?
No. No. We're gonna do it like this, E. How about you tell us how he's been disappointed, and then we'll tell you. We'll come back after.
He goes past. He doesn't go past anybody. He tries to go past a player.
You're just lying. No. You're just lying now.
I am not lying. I am not lying. Now you telling me
he said he gets past nobody.
What's these kids doing today, bro?
Chad, do not believe this charlatan, bro. Do not believe it.
Exactly.
Don't believe this again. Don't believe him. Don't believe Sava. Don't believe none of these men who are lying, bro.
What have you been watching, Alex?
They're lying through their teeth.
Season, bro.
What, are you telling me I'm lying? Sava's lying. Am I saying the same thing as Sava?
Sava's saying he ain't cooking either. You're both wrong. You're both lying.
Okay. So, like I said, my eyes are watching on the screen, so I don't need. I don't care what to tell me.
You watch it without your glasses.
By the way, big up Jay, by the way. Big up Jay, by the way, all day long.
He's coming to a big mess right now. And it seems like what you need to know, Jay, is that Alex has been watching friendlies without his glasses, so you can't believe what he's saying. You can't believe what he's saying.
I don't think I actually need glasses. I might have to go Specsavers and read the eye test because I don't need glasses if this is what the glasses opinions are.
What's the conversation?
So right now, I'm gonna let you jump in, but right now I'm gonna let Alex finish before we say. But all he was saying, we were all talking about the creative solution, you know, how Spurs can improve, and he was naming players and stuff. And then he went, "Yeah, Odebear, he's been rubbish in preseason, pretty much. He's not been good. He's not been impressed." And that's where we all just had to stop for a minute because he then went on to say he doesn't get past no one. And I don't know what games you've been watching again, Alex. But one thing Odebear does very well is get past players. You can't.
Who did he get past them? Don't tell me. Don't lie. Do not lie. You're lying now.
He skinned the tan off of Ben White. What are we talking about, bro?
He did get past Ben White. Come on now,
he did.
Please, he did get past
just lying,
Ben White.
Bro. We're just
he did
lying.
not get past Ben White. The only thing he did.
While he's talking, I'll get the
only thing he did. The only thing he did, which was good, is that he got some space and he placed the shot well and he hit the post. He was unlucky with that, but that's all he did. That's all he did.
We're just lying,
anyone.
We're just lying, bro.
Kudos did more than him, yeah, and he was given more threat on the wing than he was.
But Kudos is an experienced pro. He's been in
the
game.
No, Luke, don't do that.
This is why this whole system doesn't work. This whole recruitment idea don't work,
bro. He's in the squad, bro. He's no toddler, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
You need to. What do you mean? This is the problem. You can't keep going to sign young players and not have experienced players for them to learn from. That's not how it works. They can't develop if they've not got right people around them. They was in a poor structure last year.
He wasn't forced to sign the club. For the club, bro. He wasn't forced to sign for the club, and he's no amateur, bro. You know what I mean? He's a professional footballer.
Can I just chime in here? First of all, big up the chat. You know what I'm saying? Big up the beautiful, amazing people in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Smash a like on the stream. I apologize for my tardiness. You know what I'm saying? I sprinted. You don't know how far I've just run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The cat even done a steaming pile of doo-doo to welcome me home. So it's been rough, but we're here. Big up Jords as well. You know what I'm saying?
Big up.
I just want to say, Alex, you know I love you, brother. You know what I'm saying? You know you're my guy in that, bro. But Odebear turned Ben White into an actual white man. You know what I'm saying? He turned Ben White, bro.
You rub that
he's
fake
giving-
time.
he's
Man,
giving-
acting like they
and
don't watch the game,
I
bro.
do
Man,
understand.
I swear, fam.
Is the conversation that we need more quality on that left-hand side? Because hopefully that's not a debate. That's not a debate that we're really having in Big 2025 when our star player, if you will, has just left our club after 10 years, 10 brilliant years, may I say. I'm just trying to understand where we're at right now, because I'm hearing that like Odegaard didn't do anything, could have done more, which to be fair, I'd expect Kudus. Kudus has got a target on his back from me, you know what I'm saying? The moment he fails, we will be there. We will be there, you know what I'm saying? To say I told you so. But yeah, what I'm confused, Jords. Can you actually...
I think where we're at is that Alex, we've started to learn Alex doesn't like players below a certain age. That's what it just seems like. It seems like if a player's experienced or sorry, Alex, you muted yourself, bro. It seems like
you
if
shouldn't
a
have told
player's
him.
young,
You shouldn't have
and
told him.
it's clearly, or maybe StreamYard's muted you because you're just chatting to just saying things without any explanations. Maybe your internet said Alex it's time out now. I don't know. It wasn't me, innit? I'm just saying I didn't mute you.
I love this. I love this. I love
The
this
mic was like, no.
I love this energy. No, the only
It's
reason
had
why I
enough of
muted
you,
myself,
man. It had enough of you.
I'm
I muted myself because I respect the channel. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because I don't want anything in the background, stopping you lot from saying stupid things. You know what I mean? Which you're saying stupid things right now. You get what I'm saying? But these are words that Mr. Box Office loves. The main event loves. Okay, so based on what this guy was so good, yeah. So he based on what? Based on what?
We never said
Please,
so
could
good.
someone tell me?
No,
Because
no,
he did do.
Never
I
said
watched the
so good,
whole
bro.
game.
No,
I watched the
Never said so.
whole game,
We'll let you
and this
finish.
guy couldn't get past anybody, even if he tried. Honestly, I watched him the whole game. He was. I'm sorry. Yes, he watched good. He ran. He made his effort. Yeah, but he didn't get past anybody. Every single time they got the tackle in. Every single time, tackle. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. You know,
No,
then you're saying I don't like young players. No, that's not true. That's not true, right? But I'd like to see consistency in my players.
All right, but
young
Alex,
players don't
you
do
would know that.
I've seen players like Aaron Lennon get past players. Yeah, I saw Crunchier get past players. Gareth Bell.
I'm talking about
get past
JJ
players.
Okocha, bro. Like that, bro.
Oh,
This is
no,
25 years ago.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here, guys?
This is right now. But like, Alex, let's actually have a serious conversation. This is where you're going.
This is a serious conversation.
No,
bro.
this is
He wants three Brennan Johnsons up top, George. That's all it is, bro. I know Mandem like this just want Brennan Johnsons up top, fam. That's all they want, bro.
No,
I hear the ignorance.
Because you say you like young players, but for one, you want consistency. The one thing you don't get from young players is consistency. They're young. That's the whole point of them growing. They learn consistency over time. You see little moments and you see spurts and you see little things from them that makes you think, oh, this could be a great player. But the one thing that's always missing from a young player, whether they're highly talented or not, is even Yamal. Sometimes you can watch him and some people like Yamal had a bad game. Yeah, he's only 18 fucking years old. He's gonna have a bad game every now and then. So when you get onto an Odegaard or a Gray or a Bergvall, it's like, bro, yes, you can get onto them if they're not performing at a certain level. That's fine. You can have some slight of you hold them accountable for their performances, but at the same time, you don't hold them to the same account as you would a 28 or 29-year-old senior player in the team, because that expectation is just different. So when you're saying, oh, so what did Odegaard do so well? We never said Odegaard done stuff amazingly. We just said the one thing he definitely does very well is beats his man. He can dribble on his left foot. He can dribble on his right foot. He can cut in. He literally beats his man very comfortably. And also, Alex, away from just Tottenham performances, if you saw any of his performances or any of his clips, anything you've seen regarding the France under 21s, he's been doing it all summer. That's what he's been doing since he's come back from injury and he's built up his fitness. Odegaard looks like one of our most dangerous wingers away from
France under 21s. It's been him and Tell that have been the stars.
Cooking, bro. They've been cooking. Like,
I don't even like Tell. I hate Tell with a passion. You know what I'm saying? But I got a take on Tell for later on.
Do you know what? But
It's a good thing.
whilst everyone's here, we did get big up to Mr. Udang. If we keep dropping the news, Ben Jacobs is seemingly on last word in Spurs at the moment, and he's literally just dropping all the gems about Spurs stuff. So that's where all the Spurs news was waiting. Apparently, Ben Jacobs is giving it out on last word on Spurs right now. And one of the things he did drop was that the priority for Tottenham is the number 10 position. They would like a player who can play as a 10 and as a left winger. So like I thought from the start, we're looking for somebody that can play across two positions, because we're not going to sign somebody that plays as a 10 and plays as and sign somebody that's a left winger. We haven't got the squad space to keep filling those in. So off the back of that as well, just regarding the left winger news, he did also say, oh, where's Mr. Udang? He dropped it in there just a second ago. Regarding Leao, Tottenham have inquired about Rafael Leao. However, he is in love with AC Milan. Due to AC Milan not having European football, though, they are willing to sell to fund their transfer window. I know that this was one player that Allegri was pretty sure they were going to keep a hold of. So Leao's another player that Spurs are interested in. Not sure if the deal will happen.
Hey, George.
But yeah, the 10.
George.
What are we doing? Jay, you come in now.
And Alex, you're gonna. Hey, listen, I'm not even trying to do no instigating thing here, but I remember going back in time to a certain show, a certain boardroom talks with a certain panel, yeah, and I asked, yeah, who would we get as that backup / left-sided player? And a certain somebody next to me said Jackie Grealish. And a certain panel members, yeah, said that they weren't a fan. Is that still the narrative? Is that still the narrative around good old Jackie boy Grealish?
I'm gonna let other people go first. I'm gonna let other people go first.
So I'm not.
I just heard it, innit? I just heard. It wasn't me that said it. I just heard it.
I weren't a fan of Grealish at 300k, but now the rumor is that players like teams like Everton, West Ham are getting him. So if they're getting him, they're not paying 300k. So if we're paying 200k and we're getting him on loan, then I'm taking that. I think if Jack Grealish comes into this team, we don't have many ball players as good as him, personally. And I think if it's on loan, it's the same thing with Palhinha. I was expecting us to pay 35-40 million pound for him in beyond 200 grand a week. And it's almost like it's a bit of a gamble. Could we not go elsewhere for it? But I think if we get Jack Grealish on loan for a year, 200 grand, I'm taking that. That's essentially Sonny's replacement. And I think Grealish will work in this system. He'll play in the 10. He'll play on the left. So that's where Alex was. I was agreeing with him. I was nodding my head, and then.
But he doesn't get GA.
He ruined it.
No, I'll be honest.
But
clearly it was only me then. Clearly it was only me, and I've
said it as well. I've said it as well on our channel.
I don't want Grealish. I don't think Grealish is good enough. You're talking about a player. No. And let's expand on it. Across the last 2 seasons, he's played 40 Premier League games. 40 in the last 2 seasons. In that's not 40 starts, that's 40 games. He's only started about 12 to 15 of those. This is a player that's never available, a player that's been dropped out of his squad for not just not being good enough, but also off the field issues, not being serious, turning up late to training, coming to training with just not the right attitude. Him and Foden, remember that time when him and Foden got kicked out of the Pep Guardiola's team? Said,
"Don't you think a new environment might be good for him?
A new environment could be good, and it could be a change. Everybody deserves a chance, and a new lease of life can be a whole new change for him. There's nothing. But I'm going off the evidence that I've seen in it and what I've seen from him the last 2 years. He's not been a good player. When we talk about what he adds, yes, he's better technically than most of the players in our team. Yes, he would start on our left wing right now. That's not a question. But when you talk about how much better is he than the current players we have, not that much better. You talk about GA, we need goals. Tottenham needs, when we've said we need players in this front line, we don't need players in this front line to hold the ball up and do some, a couple step overs and look good. We need a player to get in the front line who's going to score goals, who's going to add goals to this team. I don't see Grealish adding that many goals.
Kulusevski does that.
He didn't do it for Man City.
So Kulusevski does the same thing.
But the Man City thing, I get what you're saying. I understand it. He's not got great GA, but the Man City thing is a system thing. The whole thing is based around being a system. The whole thing is set up for Haaland to score goals. No one else. It's down there for Haaland to score all the goals because as a baller, Haaland's not the guy. Haaland is the guy to finish everything. That's what he is. So and that's why Grealish has been played out of the team, because they're going in different directions. Savini's, Doku's. If you not forget that treble season, he was there every game. He basically started every single game, and that's why I'm saying about the loan is that you get him on loan for 1 year. I'm not saying spend 40, 50 million. I'm saying get him on loan for a year, and he's better than what we have. That's it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I just need to pick up what you're saying then, Jords. Then, so you don't like Kulusevski then, because he does the same thing.
No, he doesn't.
He
What makes Kulusevski?
He holds the ball though. But he holds the ball though. He holds the ball too long as well.
But what makes them similar players? What Kulusevski was our best creator last season. When you talk about, they're the same.
He was not best creator last year.
Based on what? Based on what I saw, based on what he done for us, based on the numbers. When you look at the chances created, up until Kulu getting injured, he was the highest creative player. He was the most created player, one of the most creative players in the league. Only Salah had created more chances than him. You do know that. Played more key passes than him. Kulusevski was
like 2 months,
running stats
for like 2 months.
No, it wasn't for 2 months. It was up until February, bro. You man can't tell me these things that I know about Kulu.
Okay, February. There's still 3-4 months of the season.
He got injured after that. What do you mean? He got injured. He didn't play. What are you doing? He didn't play. So what are you doing here?
He's doing all this creating off the back of other. He's literally the only person who can do that. Though Maddison was dropping to left back. Like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
What are we doing?
Madison's dropping in between the centre backs. He's dropping in between the centre backs. He's dropping to left back, and then Bergvall and Kulu are then the beneficiaries.
However,
no, because you're comparing him.
Are you MDL?
Who are we comparing Kulu to when we're talking about creating?
You're playing from the back. When you play out the back,
comparing him to Grealish right now.
The 10/8 is supposed to.
I'm saying Kulu is the beneficiary of being basically the sole creator. He's the beneficiary of that, because the other creators had to drop and play a different role. So when you're saying he's the best creator in the team, he's only the best creator on paper because he's the beneficiary of the other players sacrificing.
No. We're not doing that, because Kulu was
That's
the guy
what it is.
Deep running, bro. Wait.
No,
on Kulu's best game last season. On Kulu's best game last season, who was the no? You're lying now, because Kulu's best game last season, who scored the goals? It was Maddison. He was the beneficiary of Kulu creating, picking it up from behind our, hooking it up in our half, dragging the ball up, literally dragging it up.
Oh my gosh!
No,
it was no. If we're talking about Man City, don't lie. No, don't lie.
And it was like, yeah, Maddison's the creator.
Kulu picked up the ball in the final third off a long ball from Dragashin. Let's not lie. Let's cut the cap.
I'm talking about the game, the whole game, bro. This guy was the beneficiary of it. Him dropping deep and dragging the ball up, and Maddison was finishing off the chances, bro. We're talking about him being
let's not lie. I was literally on an Ash Mac analysis after the Man City game. I watched Ash break it down in detail. Do not lie to me, bro. Maddison was dropping to left back and help picking up and facilitating, bro. This is what he was doing, bro. We're not lying, bro. We're not lying, bro. We're not lying, bro.
I love Elijah, bro. Talking truth.
Madison is a
stop
midfielder
lying.
that drops into the mid. He, of course, a central midfielders. You do know where a central midfielder's based. They're in the middle of the pitch.
He's supposed to be the 10.
Of course, they're going to pick it up from the centre back.
He's supposed to be the 10. He's not supposed to be dropping back.
Not, because Kulu was the 10. That's the point. He played as an 8.
He didn't play on the 10. Oh, my God. When they both played, he didn't play as the 10. He played on the right when they both played.
No, there was times when they're both in the midfield, actually. There was a lot of times when they're both in the midfield.
What, for the first couple games of the season?
But when they were both in the midfield.
At the start of the season, when it was Bentancur, Maddison, and Kulu, what happened after that, though?
We done that
for the majority of the season. So what happened to the majority of the season? No, I'm not talking about the season. I'm talking about the whole season.
We never played with that free. Half the time, Kulu and Maddison didn't play together. Kulu and Maddison didn't play together. We either had one or the other. That's what happened the majority of the season. Exactly. And when we had Kulu, we looked far better than when we had just Madders.
Based on what?
Based on what I saw in my eyes.
Don't raise your voice. Don't raise your voice because you capping.
Based on what I saw in my eyes.
Speak logically. No, but your eyes are fraudulent though. So based on what that's actually on the pitch.
The numbers
based on what's on the pitch. Based on what on the pitch.
Kulusevski led with chances created with key passes.
The only thing Kulu has that's more than Maddison is syllables in his name, bro. That's it. He only has more syllables than Maddison. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. He just has more syllables and his name is a bit more spicy, bro. That's all it is, bro.
I care about creating actions.
put a
All it
barrier
is, bro.
between you two.
I care about creating chance. I care about key passes. I don't care about.
I just want to say, yeah,
all these assists that Maddison got and stuff. All this GA.
Can we not
I never brought up GA once.
Hold on. Let's let's wheel it back a little bit. You know what I mean, guys? That's better.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Bro. I just want to say, yeah.
Tell him to get out Maddison arse. Been glazing him for 6 months.
Bro, save your mans, Jay. Jay, save your mans, bro. Save your mans, Jay.
Now Maddison's batty cheeks.
You might need to bring back cave conversations because you've been lacking ever since you stopped that show.
Elijah. What we've done is we've rattled Jords here, little Jords here, haven't we? We rattled him a little bit, haven't we?
He needs to get back to the cave, Alex, he has to get back to the cave, bro. He ain't been the same.
He hasn't got out Maddison's batty cheeks. That's all it is.
He ain't been the same, bro. He ain't been the same, bro. He has, you know what it is, Alex? Jords has an IKEA card sitting on his desk right now. That's all it is.
Maddison's the one that's not.
He has an IKEA 20% off staff discount IKEA discount card on his desk, bro. That's why he loves Kulu and Bergvall so much, bro. He has a gifted. It's actually gold for his fucking Durag. He has an IKEA card sitting on his desk right now.
Like, guys, I love Kulu. You know what I'm saying? Kulu's a baller. But my point is, yeah, I think we're being really unfair towards Kulusevski, and I think we're holding Maddison a little bit too highly. Let's not forget, yeah, that there's been numerous times where we've called for Maddison to get brought off the pitch because he's done nothing but slow the game down. Now, yes, we're not denying that Maddison is a top quality player, but one thing we all can say about Kulusevski, yeah, is there's numerous times where he's dug us out of a hole. How many times can you say with your whole and be completely honest? And this is how we do this comparison. We're not going to do this, oh, he has more take on stats and all of this and that. I don't care about what the charts say. How many times can you sit there and say Madders dug us out of the game and won us a game? And then how many
James
times
Maddison,
Kulusevski dug us out of the game and won us a game, bro? Because I'm not going to lie.
Okay,
I think last season, it's you can't compare. Kulusevski had a much better season than Maddison, and they were both out for a fairly similar amount of time.
Okay, I'll answer that. First of all, Maddison was more fit than Kulusevski, so that's wrong. Second of all, Maddison, the thing is about Maddison, which is why I wanted both of them to play together, is because they both create in vastly different ways. So the way that Kulu creates is by picking up the ball and driving it. Maddison's more of a passer. So the way they create is substantially different. So if you look at take-ons and carries, that's Kulu's way of creating. So it's very different. When you talk about Kulu digging us out of a hole, as much as Kulu at times dug us out of a hole, sure, I'm not denying that. He was also a detriment to the team just as much, especially after he came back from injury. He was there are times where he was really good, by far the best player. And there's times where he's just a detriment to the team. When it comes to Maddison, his performance raises and drops with the level of the team that he's playing with, which is why it was annoying for me for when Maddison was having a stinker. Because Maddison had stinkers. There's no doubt about it.
Yes,
he definitely had
we didn't play well.
We didn't. That's what I'm saying. But James Maddison, and this is the problem in it, because people want to compare Maddison to Harry Kane, bruv. And I say this because people compare him to his playmaking skills to Harry Kane. The fact that he's wearing number 10, which is what Kane wore. Everyone's comparing, because Maddison's the marquee guy, he's the maverick, he's supposed to be like this and that. And I think that's unfair because Kane is literally a one-of-one player, especially for someone at Spurs, fam. When it comes to Maddison, he's not that level, fam. Like he's a maverick, sure, but he's not world class. He's just a good playmaker. He's a good player. He's not someone who's going to elevate the team like that, which is why I want them both to play together. Kulusevski isn't that either, and we know that because as when Kulusevski's on fire, he's cold. But that's when he's on fire. When he's just average Kulusevski, he's just as much as a detriment to the team. That is the problem.
Kulusevski works so hard.
I need to come in and say, you said something that was completely wrong there. You spoke about how when he come back from injury, he was a detriment. He only played 90 minutes once when he come back from injury. Once. So all those other games, he played like 30, 40 minutes.
When I say, I was wrong. When I meant that when he started getting fatigued, I was wrong about that. You're right, I was wrong. When he ended up getting fatigued, because remember, Kulu was our most consistent player with Porro up until about February, and then he went down in it.
They played the most minutes.
So Kulu and Porro, I think it was mainly Kulu who was our consistent player. and then he went out injured. So yeah, I was wrong. I didn't mean it injured. I was wrong. That's my bad. From like November-ish is when he just started dipping, because in December he was horrible. January he was horrible. And then he ended up going out injured. And we kept saying, yo, Kulu needs a rest because his performances have dipped. We kept saying this throughout the season.
But
for the last couple months before he went out.
I just want to, because you said that they should play together. I can tell you why that won't work, because that means, like, we already know our midfield, although we've got Paulinho now and whatnot, and that's good, right? I don't think, for the sake of, bro, we'll be so open and pause. And the problem with Maddison is he doesn't have the work rate that Kulusevski has. Do you know what I'm saying? And like you said, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting Kulusevski so one-sided, like, and I noticed this a lot when he played centrally. He's so inclined to take the ball onto his left foot. He's too one-dimensional to play through the middle. You have to play him out wide. And playing him next to Maddison, I just think they'll get in each other's way personally. Now, playing them in the same team, I'd agree, because if you put him out on the right instead of Johnson, then you're giving him something to run onto. He can do what he does. He can take the players on. We've seen him at the touchline numerous times. How many times have we seen him skip down the touchline? And you know what I'm saying? But playing them centrally together, I don't think would work. I just think that would.
I wouldn't say
would expose.
No.
I think we'd have to be
our best performance was City. Our best performance was City away when Kulu was on the right. Now, obviously, we have Kudus. Now we have Kudus. What was our best performance then?
I'd argue our best performance was against Brentford.
You're smoking crack. Okay, so you're smoking crack.
No, that's a good point. It's actually a good point. I was going to say Brentford.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Jords, why are we lying?
No.
Bro?
And it's funny.
That's serious. I know on my channel as well.
That was one of our most comfortable wins across the full season, where we actually
comfortable.
That was what, like, it wasn't
across
comfortable in the sense that
we managed the game. We managed the game.
We actually managed the game in that one. That was the one game where you thought, okay,
everyone praised Andros for that game because he said he finally done what we asked and just played a balanced team.
No disrespect, Jay. No disrespect, Jay. Right? I'm sorry, but don't listen to this whole thing about you don't work hard. Most creative midfielders don't really are a bit more lazy.
You shouldn't have to.
We're not in 2010.
You shouldn't have to.
No, 2010. That's not a loop. That's just not a loop.
You shouldn't have to be
all the
going
best number 10s in the world work hard.
Shit.
They do work hard. You look at every 10 in all the teams right now. They are runners. They are work. Liverpool's number 10 was Szoboszlai last year. He's one of the hardest workers in the Premier League.
He's a different sort of player.
We're not going to be told. All right, McAllister. They're different players, but I'm not going to be told that number 10s are allowed to be luxury. We're not in the world. We're not in 2013 anymore. There's no more Ozils, no more David Silvas. You don't have luxury players in your team no more. Everybody has to work hard. So I'm not hearing this. Maddison don't need. You're looking like that. Name me a team that has a luxury player right now. Who has?
I'm letting you cook. I'm letting you cook. I'm letting you cook.
Finish your point, name a player right now who's luxury in the Premier League.
Why can't Maddison? He doesn't have to be luxury. Where's this luxury coming from?
Because you're saying that players like a number. Alex alluded to, a player that doesn't need to work hard. He's a number 10. He's talking about a luxury player. That's what I mean in the reference of. That's a luxury player is a number 10 that don't need to work hard because.
Do you think that's Alex? Did you mean luxury, Alex? Because George is saying luxury.
That's the term I'm using. That's the term I'm using. They're luxury players.
I don't think he should be. I don't think he should be targeted as someone that doesn't work hard. That's what I'm saying because I think he works hard.
I didn't say that he didn't work hard. I'm just saying for what we need in our midfield. What we've been complaining about for the last 3 seasons is how overexposed our midfield is, how easily overrun our midfield is. You can't play. Maybe for 30, 40 minutes you can play Kulu and Maddison together in that when you're going after a game. But if you start a game with Kulusevski and Maddison in that midfield, we will go in at half time 2-0 down or 1-0 down, 100%. And the whole thing with me now is that now we've got Frank. I prefer to see a more pragmatic. I want to see 2 midfielders sitting there in front of the centre backs and just let the number 10 move, which is why I guess you could say we do need a bit more of a mobile 10, which is why James Maddison can't afford to be on a slacking. I need him zipping and zapping. But
I'll be honest. I don't even know why we're having the Maddison conversation. Madison's not going to be out for the next 9 months. He's out. We're not even seeing. Let's have it right. Maddison's going to be. It's going to be yet another season where we get a 33% of Maddison. Yet again. For the 3rd season in a row. This is the problem with the player. And why I want to get rid of the player? Because he's a 33% man. We got told this when he had this stuff, and we're now seeing this. When do you think Maddison's going to be available? When are we going to see him? When do we get? In fact, this is the better question. When do you actually think we'll finally get to see the best of Maddison in a Spurs?
This is where I agree. I don't think we're going to see him this season the way it looks like.
You probably won't see it. To be fair, you probably won't see it.
So
and do you think if we sign another number 10, that number 10 is going to sit behind the ranking in Maddison? No, they're going to be playing.
But Jords, I've been on this channel saying that we needed another 10 to help phase Maddison out. So what are we doing here?
My point here is that you keep defending Maddison like you want him to play.
Maddison.
I'm not understanding. Why do you think that Maddison's going to? No, we know Maddison's not going to play.
I'm not defending Maddison. I think you're overrating Kulusevski.
So you defend Maddison because I overrate Kulusevski, you're defending Maddison.
No, because you said that Kulu was our best creator in the team. You're obviously comparing him to the other creators in the team.
Well, but
the problem is that we've got no.
So what the fuck are we doing here, bro?
We were actually talking about Grealish, and then Kulu came in the conversation. You brought Maddison unprovoked because you wanted to defend your guy.
No, Mr. Box Office said that. No, Mr. Box Office said Maddison's our best creator, and you said no, it's Kulu. So let's stop the cat, bro. The stream is there.
No, that's after. You're talking about way after. We started off with Grealish, and then we talked about. We're talking about Grealish, again,
I think we can say this. When he's fit and he's flying, which is very rare, Maddison is our best creator. Yes, however, due to consistency, and what we get, like who gives us more, we can't sit here and deny the fact that Kulusevski has, and the injuries are not Maddison's fault. You can't blame a man for getting injured, right? You can't blame the guy for being injured all the time. But the reality is that Maddison is hardly ever fit. They told us this before we signed him as well. They told us that you're gonna miss him for 4 months of the season, 2 to 4 months of the season. He's gonna turn up in games. He's going to probably score a brace here and there and do some flashy moments, but he isn't the guy in terms of consistency. And we have to be real here. If we're talking about the whole reason we get onto Solanke and we call Solanke doo-doo is because he's inconsistent. And Maddison's performances even though he did put up some decent numbers last season, his performances aren't as consistent as Kulusevski's at the moment. Now that could change. That could easily change. He could come back from injury and be the best player in the Premier League for all we know. But as of now, Kulusevski is our most important creator because his availability is... If it wasn't for his availability, then maybe I'd say Maddison, bro.
I mean, he's out for January, so... War availability right there.
Well, let's be real here. How many times have we lost Kulusevski for
No. That's so shameless of you. Man got injured in May, and now he's injured until what? He's injured till the new year. What can we do about that? Man got injured, bro, and in May last season. What do you want him to do?
War availability, by the way.
Every season.
War availability.
Your guys are going to be around in February, March again, and then we're going to be like, hey. Maddison's back, people. You know, come on, another season with Maddison.
If all I ever hear is narrative talk when it comes to players, I know people are lying and bullshit, and that's all I gotta say, bro.
I'm telling you how I feel, man. You know what I'm saying? That I got that yellow shirt coming with Kulusevski's name on the back. G, I'm just being real. That's my guy, bro. You know,
so that's why we get it.
We know Madders is E's guy. That's quite clear, you know.
The problem everybody's got
narratives. Narrative talking.
No, this ain't
narrative. It's narrative.
This is facts. It's
narrative. I've been on your channel more than Jay's channel. You know that I want Maddison phased out. So this is narrative talk.
And also, you've been on my channel arguing about Madders. I've got clips from 6 months ago doing this same argument.
From a few days ago. What about clips from like 3 days
6 months ago? To say that you've been defending Maddison for over 6 months. That's what I care about.
What about clips for 3 days ago when I said we need Maddison phased out the team, we need another 10? What about the clip from 3 days ago?
No.
But again, narrative talk.
You're Maddison sympathizer.
You see the narratives, right?
No. You're Maddison sympathizer.
You see the narratives. That's all I gotta say, man.
He's a Maddison sympathizer.
You know what I'm saying? He's acting like this is a rival panel. These are 5 Spurs fans. You're not getting away with this narrative talk, bro.
You are a Maddison sympathizer.
No, I just don't overrate Kulusevski. That's what I just don't dick suck Swedish players like you in the chat, bro, or some of the people like Jacob in the chat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I don't do that, man.
Wow. I like two of them.
That's what I do, and apparently Jay as well, because he's got his shirt
Wes,
in there. So
Wes,
we'll add him to the mix too, bro.
All I'm gonna say, if Kulu, if Maddison
No,
has done
no,
his
wait.
ACL,
Wait, what are we doing here? No, this is not fair, bro.
If Maddison has done his ACL, he ain't going to be back to any sort of player like he has been for 18 months. So the fact that we're sitting here having this conversation is crazy if that's the case, because it's the same with Bentancur. Everyone was like, oh, he's come back, he ain't been all that. Everybody said with an ACL, it takes them nearly over a year, maybe 18 months to get anywhere near the level. And if Maddison comes back and is not at the level that he's been at, then he ain't going to be in and around this team anyway. So this is just a crazy... We ain't even going to get the facts because... He's going to be nearly 2 years before we start seeing the best of him anyway. So this is all just nuts. Kulusevski, the fact is, between the two different players, you're right in terms of they create differently. They do. They're different type of creators. And when they're both on form, they're ridiculous. Like Kulusevski was getting player of the year shots at the start of the season because he was ridiculous. But the facts is that Maddison isn't available enough, and Kulusevski's work rate means that he will play more often than not in different formations and different teams because he works his absolute nuts off, which is one of the reasons why he got injured. It's probably one of the reasons why his form dipped off. I can see Frank absolutely loving this guy because he works his absolute nuts off. And going to the whole tens, Damsgaard used to run because that's what's required in a Frank system. So I don't think Madders would have had an unbelievable role. I think he's got great potential, but he would have had to work harder. And you're right. Alex said earlier about his running, and we're not sure about that because he was always brought off after 60 minutes. And Ange wouldn't have just brought him off for banter. He was bringing him off because he weren't working hard enough. So I think that's the bottom line, is that both of them are good. Are either of them good enough? Is the question to levels we want to get to. They're either not available enough, not consistent enough, or not creative enough. That's the bottom line. That's why we need an Eze. That's why we need Kudus. That's why we need these sorts of players.
No, that's the bottom line there. Look, that's why we need a new 10, because ultimately we ain't going to see either of these players in a Spurs shirt for the next couple months. And neither of them are going to be playing in the 10. And when Kulu does come back, to be fair, I think Ghosted did make a fair point. He injured his knee as well. So Kulu may not come back to the same form. Kulu may not be the same player when he comes back. He may be a shadow of himself. And, you know, this may be a pointless conversation because it's true. Kulu may not come back. Right. But what are you talking about? The Mr. Udang's comment?
Yes.
Big up to Mr. Udang for dropping.
This guy right now, I'm going to lose it.
Tottenham have inquired about Bilal El Khanous, who has a £22 million release clause and wants to play in the Premier League. What I've also seen just off the back of this news is that Everton are currently offering out Ndiaye, trying to get rid of him, offered him to Inter Milan. Now, if we're talking about an option on the left wing and we need a player, forget El Khanous, go bring me on Ndiaye. Ndiaye, I don't know if anybody watched their friendly against Man United even the other day. He is just that guy. Cold, technically really good, can beat his man. He's a finisher as well. He picks up a goal here and there. What are we thinking about the potential left wing options? Because, yeah, these are the types of players Spurs have been quoted to right now. There's no stars. You know, we heard the Rodrigo stuff. We heard the Leao stuff. They don't look like they're likely. We may need to go for an El Khanous and Ndiaye, you know, a more frugal type signing. What are people saying about this?
I really hope we get this guy, yeah, because about a month ago I texted Jords and I said, yeah, bro, we should sign him. He's cheap as chips. He's gonna be he can play in that 10. His passing ability is absolutely ridiculous, yeah. The technical, you know what I'm saying? He can dribble. He's the Maddison that we need, and he's young as well. He's at 21, 22 years of age, bro. That is, if people are talking about, you know what I'm saying, young players, that's how much money you go out and you put on a young player. You go and spend 20 million. You don't go and drop 55 on these young, you know what I'm saying, these poor but raw talents. So I think that would be a good signing. In terms of Ndiaye, all I remember is that he skinned Archie Gray alive against at Goodison Park. I'm pretty sure he skinned Ben Davis as well.
Yeah, so that man moved to us that game. Was it
Dragusin? I don't know who it was, but he skinned them alive.
I think it was Archie.
I think he's cold, but again, the problem is now, right, is that I'm very happy to get in wingers that are very tricky and whatnot, but we've got that now. I think it's fair to say we've got our tricksters, because people are forgetting about Yang as well, right? He's quick, he's tricky, he'll get to the touchline. We need
Yang
someone
doesn't hardly play though.
But okay, but that I know he's not gonna play. But my point is that we've got our tricky. We've got the Kuduses. We've got the Odobert who is gonna play. We've got the Tells who is gonna play. Right now, we need a killer on the wing. Do you know what I'm saying? We need someone on the wing who has a natural instinct for a goal, if that makes sense. Do you know? I'm not asking for 20 goals a season, but I just want some output coming from the wing as well, because we don't have a number 9 that we can rely on. That's the reality. We can't rely on Solanke to get us 15 goals in the season. We can't rely on Richarlison to get us 5 goals in the season. And like I know E said a few times that the goals get spread throughout the team and whatnot. You want to kind of add another goal scoring aspect, in my personal opinion. So yeah, maybe I would look elsewhere. Lookman is a shout. Lookman, I know Arsenal are linked with him, but I think Lookman's a baller personally.
All right, just bringing some of the other guys in here, because I think, look, that was a great point made by the quote that I brought up here, yeah, from Flying Solo, because let's have it right. We're playing Champions League football. Can we afford to be shopping at Leicester and some of these other clubs for their left wingers if we're not even sure that these players are significantly, and I mean significant, how much better are they than Odobert and Told? We don't need a player who to compete with them. We need someone to come in on top of them quite clearly and to be the player that they're going to learn off. But what do you think, Luke, Alex, and E on the potential of, you know, El Kanous and Jai and some of these more frugal left winger attacker signings?
His name is L. I don't want him.
I like El Kanous. I like him. I think he'll be a good player. However, I don't think he's this guy Spurs need. We need to be signing Kanous level players. That's it. El Kanous is another young player that's got potential. For me, it's almost like, and Alex, you're going to hate this because it's about backups. But for me, when you put out your first 11 and then you put your second 11 out, we've got loads of second 11 players like Odobert. We've got Tell. We've got all of these players that are going to come through and do well. But we need to start signing the first 11 players now. And El Kanous is not that. We need to start signing players that are going to improve that 11. And the sad thing is, El Kanous is the perfect player for this Tottenham thing in terms of he's young. I think he's going to be a top player. He's cheap. He won't want to play every single game, so he'll be able, but it's just not what we need right now, and the priorities need to change, because otherwise next year there'll be the same sort of thing where there'll be another young player and we're like, yeah, let's go and get him. And I think that's one of the problems that we've got, is that we're constantly looking at all. Sometimes you just need to miss out on a guy just because we need to go and get something different, like Palhinha, for instance, go and get that experience. And I think that's the problem. But if you can get Njai, get that guy. Imagine him on one side, Kudus on the other. That's going to cause some problems. That's going to be dangerous.
And Richarlison up front. Oh, man.
Mate, I think Box Office said it earlier. If we can go and get like Paqueta, you can go and get Paqueta, Njai, players like that, then I think you're improving this team. And that's what we need to do. We need to improve the team. And then obviously the striker is a whole situation. If you go and get, let's say you get Grealish on loan, Njai is probably going to set you back 50, 60 million. Paqueta, what's he going to set you back? All of a sudden, that's 120 million. And we're expecting to have another 80 probably, because we think we're going to have 200 mil. So I think that I think they're realistic signings as well. And as I say, El Kanous, I think, will be a top player. I just don't think it should be at Spurs. I think we should be looking elsewhere.
Big up KC, yeah. Man like DK in the building. Says, boys, what the fuck are we doing here? We're going to be playing Champions League football. El Kanous is so bang average. He ain't that great. Another Adele to wrapped. I think you might have went a bit hard on him, you know, saying that he's not good or not
also,
that great.
Don't disrespect Tarat, bro. Did you watch?
Tarat was cool.
Tarat was cool.
No,
I can't lie.
You know, he does make a fair point, and that's where I was coming with my point. It's just like, let's have it right. We are playing Champions League. As much as I like El Kanous, if we didn't have Odobert and Tell, great signing, because he can come in and he could be one of the options. And also he would be happy to be an option. But I'm not signing El Kanous to come in and be like, yeah, you're the guy to come and play in front of Odobert and Tell because you're so much better than them. He's not.
He's a 10 though.
I'll take Lootman.
The majority of his minutes were played off the left last season.
I'll take Lootman.
We need Paqueta, fam. In my opinion,
I look at Lootman. I mind him because at least he's got experience in the Champions League, and he looks better than what we've got already. Someone that listen, we're not looking for people that are world class here, but we're looking for people that are actually going to be better, who've got the experience,
better than what we currently have,
and better than what we
Give
currently
Richie-
have.
Alex, but you see, when we've got fans like this, yeah, like Jamie Burnell talking about stop Richie scapegoat, give him some service. This guy missed the
No, he
header
just
from
misses, bro. What are you doing?
underneath the
Richie's
crossbar.
What are you doing, bro?
He missed the goal from
was-
inside
was-
the goal.
Bro,
No, no, no,
you
no,
know where
no.
Balotelli did the shoulder goal? That's where Richie was, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Come
What
on,
we
fam.
really doing here? It's not about service, bro. I seen could have skipped down the touchline. You know what I'm saying? Skipping like he's in a field full of flowers. Skip down the touchline. And Richarlison is nowhere to be seen. Dominic Solanke, yeah, moves like a 700 kg truck with cement in it. He's slow as heck, bro. So let's
At the same
be
time, we
real.
don't want Elkunis, though. We don't want him either.
But,
But like, yeah, not
of
Richie.
course, but so
Not
we
Richie.
can't sit here and act like we need it, like we don't need a striker. They just need service. Richarlison tried to header the ball and it hit his shoulder, and that's our number 9. He's got our number 9, you know. Don't do that.
he's. I can't lie. I'll be honest. Yeah, Richarlison needs to be like, and I can't lie. The reason why the Njayi deal could potentially work, you throw Richarlison back at Everton, I'm sure they take him. They love Richie,
and he'll go back.
They love. He'll go back there in a heartbeat.
No,
Throw
they signed that
Richarlison.
striker. He ain't going back. They signed that striker for 30
Oh,
million.
that Barry kid. He's
Barry,
rubbish.
yeah.
He's shit,
I
bro.
want
He's
him
so
to-
bad, fam.
You want to
He's
Man United? He's
so
just falling
bad.
all over.
Bro,
Do you know one thing I've
he's
noticed?
so bad.
Do not
Oh my
sign
God.
a black African with the white name. It's not the one. He's the
I
only.
couldn't
He's
header
the
that.
George,
darkest.
he
white
scored a
man I've
hat
ever
trick,
seen in my
yeah.
life.
He had scored a hat trick
He's
in La Liga.
rubbish.
It was one of the worst hat tricks I've ever seen in my life.
He's
Bro, that guy is
rubbish.
so
This guy
whack.
was falling over himself against Man United, man. This guy is washed. Man said his name's Barry as well. He's rubbish. No, he's rubbish. He's actually. I've never seen a
Established
Barry
black man
that
called
dull. I'm
Barry
just
is
saying, man.
insane.
I got a question for the panel, yeah. I got a question for the panel. And Jamie, of course I wouldn't score that, but I'm not getting paid millions of pounds a year, and I'm not playing for my country, am I? So
How the
yeah,
fuck
but-
are we
I'd score that.
But anyways, my question is, yeah, do you think we could be in a situation where, like Kane, it might take more than one season to replace Sonny? Because we haven't replaced Harry Kane.
No.
We haven't replaced Harry Kane yet. We're still, you know what I'm saying? We still need our gunman. Mr. Anime Celebrations and that he's not a bagsman. So what are we really doing? Do you get me?
We're never going to buy
Sonny.
the replacement for it. We're not going to buy the replacement for these players, though.
But Prime
No,
Sonny,
but I'm
yes,
saying
never replace
find
Prime
our
Sonny.
replacement. Whether that be us
We can.
recognizing a young talent in the
No,
squad that can fill that void, whether it's us going out into the market and say, oh, that could work. Is it going to take? Because I don't think it's going to happen this window.
But you say that, with Sonny, if we sign Sonny now, that fan base will be going mental. They'll be going, what this guy's
we
not
developed
there.
all our best players ever at the club in the last like 15 years. We've developed them. So like
there's
we
now
developed them
that
with game time and with coaching.
Even
So we're not
Sonny
going to sign us. We're not even going to sign like a prime Kane or prime Son level player. So we've always signed a player who has the potential, and with the right coaching and the playing time, they turn into that. So we can't buy like a prime Son quality level player on the market. We've never done, at least as long as I've been a fan. We can't do it.
No way. There's no way we get that.
The
Unless we get Rodrigo. I've heard some rumors we might get Rodrigo. Maybe.
That's nonsense, man. Don't even fall for it. Don't even.
I've been ready to fall for those ones. I can't lie. You know those ones like. I don't mind my heart being broke with that one. Like, break my heart. Shit. Just give me a little bit. Just give me a little taste.
Did Solanke have 4 injuries last season? He didn't have 4 injuries last season. He had 1.
No.
He
He
didn't have
did.
it.
He had
Big up
4
Elijah,
injuries.
yeah. People, Elijah's going to head out. He's going to be going over to Mike's channel. I'm going to send you guys over to Mike's channel shortly in the next 5 or 10
man.
minutes.
Salute to everyone on the panel, man. I think we made some great content, and I think there's been some great content. Seeing people say that they never see me so animated, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to play up for the clips, chat. You know what I'm saying? You got to play chess, not checkers, innit? So, hey, those Durag Diaries clips are going to hit like crack, innit? You know what I'm saying? So, I hope you man enjoyed the content for what it's worth. You're not going to see me that animated for another couple months, innit? So, hey, you know what I'm saying? Salute to everyone on the panel. I hope you guys do well. Enjoy the rest of the stream, fam. Take care.
Maddison
in, man. Maddison in, bro. Kulu out, fam.
I know, look, people, I'm going to be sending you guys over to Elijah shortly. Let us just wrap up here and actually get through this Sonny point of conversation, because I think it's a good one. And then, to be fair, I'm glad Jade asked, because I wanted to get around to that. Is big up. WJ's in the chat. Because to be fair, like you said, we never replaced Kane correctly. We never went round the right way, replaced Kane, and we suffered. And we only got through that season because we had somebody of Son's level to score goals and score 17 in that year. We have nobody in our team right now who I can even envision getting 17 goals. Solanke potentially on a very good year, if he's provided for and he's feeling good form, he could get a 17. But away from him, we lack goal scorers. Now, obviously, we know that we're not going to be able to sign a player of a prime Sonny level, but could we get a player of Kudus's level on that left-hand side, and then we're set? Don't you think that's what we need to look for? Like a Lookman, like a Liao, still a player that has star quality, but just needs that extra. They're waiting to be coached by that proper manager that's going to take them to the next level. That's what we need, that type of player.
But they're better than Son's level. I don't know, Jay, did you mean Son's level back in like prime Son?
No, as in like as in
right
just
now,
replace Son in general. Like, because let's be real, we know it's to get a player at prime Son's level is not easy, and you're not gonna get him cheap. There's gonna be a premium on players like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Those are the Rodrigos of the world. Do you know what I'm saying? The Kvaratskhelia, the Doués, the Dembe. Those are those type of players, right? Yeah. But I'm saying, is it a thing where we maybe, like Jords said, maybe we go for a player who's maybe not that level, but he's 1 or 2 levels below, and it's just maybe we rely on the coaching of Frank and the staff and whatnot to elevate, and that they come up, because we've seen numerous clubs go out, sell their best player, and they don't necessarily go and, okay, we've sold our best player for 100 mil, we're gonna go in and put 100 mil on this player. It's like, okay, we've got a few youngsters coming through, we focus on them, like a bit like what Barcelona did after they lost Messi. You know what I'm saying? The Pedris, the Gabis, they walked through obviously you got the Yamal coming through. Could we be in a situation like that?
We should
even like, what's the average age of the squad? Don't we have like one of the youngest squads in the league as well?
You think that, but because of teams like Chelsea who consistently signing young players, I don't think we do. Like,
no, but we're
Chelsea
in that top 5 range.
Well, yeah, we're up there. We are up there. But the difference with us is we actually don't utilize our youngsters as much as people think. Like, we have a very young squad, yeah. But when you look around at other teams, I don't know, Liverpool, you even look at Chelsea, they actually use their youngsters. Look at Tyreek George last year, come through the academy, got a lot of chance on that left wing. Now he's going to get made a move to Leipzig or something like that. Spurs need to start using the youngsters that we do have and actually putting them. Like right now, with this number 10 injury, I would have been like, do you know what? Jamie Donnelly may not be good enough right now, but keep him in and around the team. And if you get a chance for some game time in Carabao Cup every now and then, you know, and there's that opportunity, we've got an injury, we need number 10 to come on the pitch. You come on, bro. That's your time. Yeah, that's your opportunity. That's your time to shine. Now, you never know if the player is good enough until giving him that chance. The only time we did see him in preseason, man was playing at fucking left back, fam. Like, this is the second preseason he's been doing that.
This is why it goes back to what I said earlier. You can't bring young players into unsettled teams. They need to be structured. They need to be settled. So if you had let's say Son of a couple of years ago is your left winger, and you bring in Odegaard and Tell to learn from him, then that's one thing. But then who do they learn from now? And that's the difference. You can't bring in these young players. Odegaard should be a bench player now that's coming off the bench, that's impacting the game in the last 10, 15 minutes. But you said it earlier, we're in a Champions League now. Is Odegaard a Champions League level starting left winger? He's not. And that's the problem. We don't have many of them. We need to be signing Kudus level players. We need at least 2 more. And then that way we have what Frank might be able to make worth of that squad. But the facts are is that we need to stop signing players that are not the level. Gareth Bale's the best example. We sold Bale, and the best player that we replaced him with 7 years later was Bale on loan. That's the level that we have at this club. This is what we do. And that's why when it comes back to the Romero conversations that everyone kept saying, should we sell him? I'm like, no, because if we sell him, we won't get a player as good as him. And therefore, we keep doing this and then wondering why we get worse. That's what happens. You sell players, you buy players who are not as good. Even if it's just a tiny bit, if you keep doing that, you're going to get worse. That's how it works. Harry Kane, again, never gonna be able to replace Harry Kane. But who do we replace? We actually did replace him the season before we sold him, which was with Richarlison. This is what we're trusting. We
just need to replace the numbers. That's the thing. It's not even necessarily the player itself. It's the numbers. That's why I said it's not even necessarily about replacing Son. It's just replacing what he brought to Spurs.
What he brought to the team,
even
and the
though
numbers.
he was on, even though he was on the decline towards the end or whatnot, Son gave us that. You know what I'm saying? You'd see Son running through, and you were comfortable. You know, because 9 times out of 10 he's gonna bury it, right? Obviously, him being one of the most senior players in the team, he also brought that. The players trusted him. So it's like, it's an all-round thing. That's why I was kind of asking.
Bro, Sonny's been in a decline for 3 years or 4 years even. And even then,
he scored 17 goals on the back.
That's what I mean. He scored 17 last year. He had 10 the year before. 23 was when he had the goal.
And he was playing with a hernia the season before.
The reason why he got loads of goals is because we were gun ho last season. That's the thing.
No, last season he didn't get loads.
No. Last season he didn't get loads. It's the season before that.
Oh yeah, but the reason why we're getting goals,
he was playing up front.
Yeah, but
and he was playing up front. Yeah, he was playing up front.
A lot of times, this is why most of our players are looking good last season because we were gun ho last season. You see what I'm saying?
Wait, Alex. Wait. Did you say that's the reason why most of them look good?
They
look shit.
Well, there was shit, but
it's why we scored goals.
We scored goals. That's the point I'm making.
Facts.
So that's why, that's the thing, and that's why now we have to redress the whole thing because we need to be more defensively solid, which we do look a little bit more solid. To be honest with you, 100%. You now see how not good our attackers are right now, and that's why I say you've got to take a risk with certain players that used to be very good, haven't had a good couple of seasons. And maybe we're at a really big level, and then they may need to go somewhere just for a fresh start. So that's why I'm looking at a Paqueta, a Grealish. You know what I mean? Just because like Jay says, you can't go for those top players. We can't do it because they're at the top of their game, and their price range are well out of the window for us, right? So you've got to start looking at players that are a little bit further down. That you've got to take a little bit of risk and saying, "This is experience. Come here." Right,
I think we have to.
Thomas Frank's got to do a Harry Redknapp.
He's got to create Sam
Allardyce. That's why I think Grealish.
He's got to find the gem. He's
got to find those gems, create those,
and he's got to use those players that are feeling a bit left out, and then come here. This is what we're doing with Kudos. We're taking a risk with Kudos, basically. You know what I mean? Because Kudos didn't have a good season last season, but at the end of the day, you're sitting there saying. West Ham wanted to sell him off. So I'm like sitting there thinking, well, that's a great opportunity there. He was very good the first season. You know what I mean? So that's where we need to take our risks at the moment.
Jords, I had one more question for you for the panel as well. It was about Matthias Tell because I actually I know I might have a bit of an agenda against Tell. Jords. Me and Jords had a long conversation.
I ain't even on Tell after that miss the other day. I was in my watch along. I said, shit, I ain't defending him, bro. What the fuck is that, bro? That was howlers. I didn't even know what went on, man. Man had 20 seconds to think of where to put it. Man put it straight to the goalkeeper. Sorry.
Because when I watched Tell play, right, now, chat, I know football fans are very fickle, so I'm going to say this really slowly so you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. When I watched Tell play, he doesn't have the output, or the quality, but he sort of reminds me of Mbeumo in terms of he uses his body quite a lot when he's moving with the football. He's very, very powerful. He can strike the ball very well as well. That's one thing he can do. He just can't place his placement's all over the place. I have a weird feeling that he might thrive under Thomas Frank, and that is me putting my bias aside and saying, that seeing the kind of output that Frank got from the likes of Wissa, the likes of Mbeumo, Tony when he was there and whatnot, and even the players that come off the bench, right? Do we see a world where we can start to finally see that? Because I think, if Tell gets 12, 13 goals in the league, I think that's a good season for him. I don't think that's
That's an amazing. Wait. That's an amazing season. You said 12.
You talk some assists in there, maybe 5.
Bro, that's an amazing season if Tell can pull that off. I'm saying that's shit.
He shouldn't get that many.
Look, this is what I mean by I said these people are slow. Yeah, I said at the start, the first thing I said is that he's not as good as Mbeumo. Yeah, but he wrote they play.
He's just a Man United fan, so he's just getting defensive.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. But I just thought the play styles were sort of similar. I don't know if you guys agree in terms of him thriving under Frank or whatnot, but I just think Frank can get the best out of him personally.
I think he will thrive. I think he'll get 15 GA this season, but not in the league. I think in total he will, but he shouldn't be scoring that many goals because he shouldn't be starting that many games. Again, I'll go back to it. Tell and Odebear should not be starting for this team in the Champions League week in, week out. We should be signing players better than him, and that's why I think Grealish gives them a year. If we get a Grealish on loan, Grealish gives them a year to just develop in the background. If we get a focused Grealish, which I think if Frank signs him, I think Frank's got a good vibe of people. I think if Frank signs him, we're not signing someone who's completely checked out of football.
Yeah.
He can bring the experience, the winning mentality, the able to hold the ball. There's a lot of stuff that Grealish could bring to both of them that would benefit them. So I think if you bring him in for one season, they learn, and then maybe next year, these are two players that have developed into players that you go, actually, they could start that. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think the problem is.
Hey, Jules, why you got so many trolls in your chat, man? God damn.
I don't even know who Jamie Burner is. It's the first time I've seen him, to be fair. So, and clearly he's been on you. So I don't know. Maybe
what did I do?
Bro's been on you this whole time.
I agree with the first 2 points. I agree with the first 2 points. Playing for Brentford, playing for Spurs are different, but it's the same with the manager.
Yeah, but
and Brentford facing low blocks.
Every team faces low blocks, though. Because when you come up against them lower, the lower down the table sides and that is a lot of these teams. That's just how they set up. Because they don't have
not against Brentford
to play.
This is where I agree, though. This is where I agree, and I get a bit because I just think people are so up the arse of this manager, which again, I've got nothing against Thomas Frank.
Whoa.
No, I'm true.
You're always trying to cook the manager. Man went from Ange to Frank. Like Frank's been in the job for 2 months. And you're saying, man, I'm not being funny. Yeah, but the facts are, yeah, a manager has got a shelf life at Tottenham Hotspur for 18 months. Yeah, that's how long they last. So he's starting from now, bro. He's starting from now. No disrespect, yeah, because like big YouTuber, one big YouTuber, I'm not going to name him, said a shelf life at Tottenham Hotspur is 16 months. That's facts, yeah. And don't talk to me about Potter. No, but what's your point now? I don't even know what you're making though. Make your point, Alex.
My point is
about the shelf life. We got a new shelf life. The shelf has been refreshed. Now talk about what's going to happen with this new shelf.
Big European trophy on that.
So all I'm saying is he needs to prove himself. That's what I'm trying to say at the moment. He needs to prove himself. Yeah, and again, I've got nothing against Thomas Frank, because when I say this, people say I've got a agenda against Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank is not annoying me right now. Right, I'm actually calm with the guy, but people get so in their feelings when I say this that he needs to prove himself, because he hasn't done it in Europe. He failed at Bromby, wherever he was. Right, that's fact. People don't want to go there, but he didn't do it in Europa League, bro.
But it's funny though, Alex, yeah, because like everyone keeps talking about the Champions League, and yes, guys, we're in the Champions League, yeah, but the reality is we're also in three other competitions, right? Yeah. And anyone who went into this season believing that, okay, like, and I'm not trying to be a downer or trying to be that guy in it, but guys, if you think we're putting a run on in the Champions League, give your head a wobble, please. It's not happening, okay? Do you know what I'm saying? There's three other competitions that we need to, you know what I'm saying? Now, for me, I'm expecting Thomas Frank to get us back into the top 8. And win a trophy, pick up a cup as well, and pick up a cup. That is my expectation. If he fails, you lot know me, yeah. You guys, the Mr. Crash Out. You guys know me. I'm gonna call him out, yeah. However, I'm not even sitting here saying Frank is the Messiah. I'm just notice how everything I've said has been based off of what I've seen him do. I'm never gonna sit here and talk about what I haven't seen a manager do. For example, until I saw Ange play defensive, I didn't sit here and say Ange is the type where, if his job's on the line, he's going to switch it up. No, I waited until he done it. So for now, until I see Frank do something that I'm unhappy with, which I haven't seen, apart from maybe the way he's deploying Tel, I haven't really been a fan of. But apart from that, I had nothing to be unhappy about. I think what there is there's a lot of bitterness because a lot of people didn't want Thomas Frank. And this isn't even aimed at anyone in specific, yeah, but because people didn't want Thomas Frank, I think people are getting on, are looking for any reason to pick at him, any reason to see him fail. And it's like, blood, he's the manager of our club now. So until he's done something that warrants us being pissed at him, give the guy a bloody chance. Like, he hasn't done anything yet.
I know what you're saying, but I can flip it the other way, and I can give you 6 things right now that if Ange would have done, the fan base would have been uproar about.
That's
everyone kept telling me Mikey Moore should be starting at Spurs.
Agreed.
No, that's lies. That's lies.
I didn't agree.
People said he should start during the injury crisis. Nobody wanted him to start when we had our best team. You can't do that.
And I said he should come off the bench more.
Who would be the best team? Everyone was saying that Sonny needs to go. So anyway, Mikey Moore should have played more. That he mishandled the way that he managed him. Well, Frank sent him out on loan. If Ange would come out,
if you actually read the reports, Mikey Moore wanted guaranteed game time, so he would have pushed for the loan, and his team would have pushed for the loan.
So Frank should have given it to him because he's good enough.
No, Mikey Moore.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Ben Davies. If Ange would have come out and said Ben Davies is our option at left back, he would have been scrutinised.
Yeah, agreed.
On Tell and Odebear. Yeah, them playing so much, Tell being signed, and then him using him as an option.
Agreed.
Is everyone's saying that they shouldn't have been playing. They're not good enough. We shouldn't have signed them.
I don't know. Some people love Tell, innit? Odegaard maybe, but with Tell, it's a bit here or
there.
It's
like a joint thing.
Yeah.
From what's been said, that he seems to be happy with strikers because that's not where we're looking at. Listen, I'm not saying this is all Frank's fault. I'm just saying if it was the other way around. So he seems to be quite happy with who we have up front because the idea is that we only target in a centre back and a 10. If Ange would have done that, it would have been. But he ain't worked out. But
the thing that you're not taking into consideration is what has Frank been told? Frank, we've already saw at the start of the show that Tottenham are confident we will have our budget. So the budget hasn't already been assigned. Frank doesn't actually know the budget that he's working with. How do you know that Frank's not been told? No. Frank has clearly been told. We know that we need a left winger, a 10, and a striker. We saw in the news that Ben Jacobs come out, and we saw prior to that news that Spurs were looking. Remember the prompt, and Alex, you read the prompt, so I know you saw Tottenham wanted a multifunctional forward. This was before Frank come in that we was told that, and we're now being told the same thing. We want someone that can play in the 10 and the left wing. So we've pretty much been told all summer we wasn't getting a striker. We've been told that we want a multifunctional player. We can't now put on Frank that Frank didn't want.
No. Listen, I'm not putting it on Frank. What I'm saying is when the fan base had a conclusion and then they've used everything that fit that argument, they didn't look at it balanced. Yeah. You can't turn around and sign 7 first-team players. Everybody knows that. But everything was placed on Ange. So again, looking at everyone, Son, not good enough.
No. I get what you're saying as well.
Son needs to go.
It's just being consistent.
If you listen to what's been coming out, Frank said to Son, I want you to sign a new contract. If Ange would have done that, oh my God, there would have been a meltdown. And then apparently, Frank doesn't want Eze. Now, I was told that Ange has no idea what a player is because he didn't want Eze. But your manager now don't want Eze. So, I'm just saying that you have to hold them both to the exact same thing.
It's consistent.
It was quite clear, but this is the thing, though. It's quite clear we didn't want Eze because we went in for Kudus straight after. We chose our player. Kudus was that one.
But all of last year, so the rumour was that not this summer, last summer.
I know last summer that he turned down Eze. Yeah.
For Eze, and he said, I don't want him. Now, the facts, apparently the facts is that Frank doesn't want Eze now. But I was told that Ange knows nothing about football because he doesn't want Eze, but not as Frank.
But then the common denominator is Eze. Because we've also been told all summer Arsenal want Eze, but Arsenal haven't triggered a deal for Eze. But they've signed Madueke for 50 million. They was happy to pick up a backup 50 mil. So what I'm saying is Eze's the denominator here. Quite clearly, Eze's not as good as many fans think. When people look into it, big up to you, man. Big up to you, man.
That's the point.
Eze is not as good as many people think. So quite clearly, he's been overrated. So that's all I'm saying here. I don't think you're making a bad point. I think you're making a valid point.
I think
there's some things about Frank that probably haven't been criticized, but I think it hasn't been criticized because at the end of the day, we judge managers by what we see on the pitch. We haven't seen Tottenham enough on the pitch for us to actually judge and say he's been
but this
bad
is the
or
point I
made the wrong decision.
By the way, I don't think he should be judged. This is my point is, and it was all last year, is that all of these things that are being thrown at Ange, he spent all of this money. All of this money, or most of this money that was spent, was either Kane money where we needed new players to come in,
Yeah.
or like last year, we signed one player to improve that 11. That's all we signed. All of the rest of the money that was spent was not to improve that 11, was to improve the squad. That doesn't help you when you're trying to challenge for stuff. And this is the problem. I think that we need to work out that the issues that are happening at this club are more so to do with the structure, are more so to do with, like you said it earlier about Son. 3 years he's been on the decline. Yeah, his stats might have been decent. For 3 years he's been on the decline. Why is it taking? But why are we here now? 3 years. Because Spurs fans could see it.
Because it's the stability of the director of football, which I don't think we've got time to go into that at the moment, because that's been a problem for a long time. You get what I'm saying? But this is the point I'm making. Consistency. You're just saying it right now, Luke. We've got nothing against Thomas Frank, right? But at the end of the day, Thomas Frank, right, agreed to come to Tottenham knowing full well what Tottenham Hotspur are all about. He's not stupid. He's been in the Premier League for a long time now. He knows what Tottenham Hotspur are all about. He knows about Daniel Levy, right? Right.
Daniel Levy quite clearly said in his interview that when Frank came, he knows that one of the reasons they got Frank is because he's willing to work within the means of Tottenham.
Exactly. So this is where I don't listen to people, because you had I bet Sav was telling you, "Oh, we'll feel sorry for Thomas Frank." Right?
No, we didn't. He didn't say that. I can't lie. He didn't say that today.
Yeah, but I know he said it before.
You've had shows of Sabbath, so you probably know.
But the thing is, you have to feel. I feel sorry for him, because this is what we have to do. This is what every single manager has to do at this club, and it shouldn't be that. Yeah, but we shouldn't be looking at, we're working under this restraint.
But Luke, I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for him, because he knows the conditions that he's working in. Because you know what? He turned down Man United. He turned down Man United when it was offered to him, so he knew exactly what he was getting into with Man United.
Mate, I feel sorry. I don't feel sorry. Spurs. Anyone related to Spurs fans, I feel sorry for. Like, this club is just mental.
Listen, again, I've got nothing against Thomas Frank, because when I say this, people say I don't say good things when I've said it on my channel. And by the way, wait for the clip that I've got on certain things that I've said on my channel, by the way, because I do things on my own now. You know, I do things on my own. You know what I mean? Because the lone wolf is here, the main event here. You know what I mean? Because that's what you do. Make yourself the main event.
The main event. Make sure you go subscribe.
But the point I'm making is, though, right, is that, you know, I'm sorry, he needs to prove himself. He needs to prove himself, because the fact is, this guy flopped in Europe, and we've got 2 games a week in the Champions League. You know what I mean? Again, he's got to do it. And he's got to get in that top 10, because if he doesn't get into that top 10, there's going to be question marks. I'm sorry. Because the same thing, like you said, Luke, the same question marks will be about Ange. You know what I mean? And again, couldn't stand the guy. You know what I mean? But we have to be consistent here. We have to be consistent here.
We have to be consistent, but we have to give the manager time. We've got to let
these questions.
Let's see how the next couple of weeks go.
These questions were always going to be the start of the season was always going to be a problem, regardless of what happened, right? Because if Ange would have stayed, then all the people that wanted Ange out would have been sitting there every single time. If he drew them 2 friendly games, everyone would have gone crazy. If he drew, and then you flip it the other way, and if Frank don't do well in his first 2 games, then loads of people that backed Ange are gonna, which is just madness, because it doesn't help the club at all. But this was always going to happen, and it didn't matter who was the manager. It was gonna split the fan base.
Yeah.
So
no, I think I think it's a fair point. I'm with you in the fact that, you know, I'm willing to give. I've always been, even when Ange came in, I didn't want Ange, but when he came in, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give the guy time. I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna see how it goes. I judge what I see on the pitch, because that's ultimately what matters the most, is what we see on the pitch. And let's give that time. Next week we got a massive game. I'm gonna try the boardroom next Tuesday, people. So we might be back next Tuesday. If not, it might be the week after. But I'm gonna say we're gonna try and get weekly.
He didn't even say that with any confidence in himself. He's like, yeah, I
actually want to commit to next Tuesday, but it's just pulling panels together and stuff. But knowing that we've got the game, the Super Cup, we're definitely doing a show, because we're gonna have to preview the Super Cup game on the Wednesday. Plus, we have season to start next week as well, so we're definitely going to be doing a show next week. So we will be back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. people, for another boardroom talks. Big up to everyone that's been inside. It's been a long show, but a very good show. And these shows, like you see, it goes up and down. Like we're calm and then we're heated, then we're calm and then we're heated. it's just Tottenham therapy, people. It really is just Tottenham therapy. So big up to everyone that's been inside. Big up to all the people that have been throughout the chat the whole time. Make sure you're supporting everybody else's channels. Ghosted has been putting it in everybody's links into the channels throughout the show. So make sure you're subscribing to Luke on Spotlight on Spurs, who will be live Thursday, 9:45? 9:30. 9:30 Thursday. Every Thursday. You can't miss it. Mr. Box Office, you said you got some clips to come out. Is there anything, any lives or anything that the people need to look out for on your channel?
You just have to put your notifications on, man. You have to put your notifications on.
I see Alex just goes. I saw Alex was going live at like 11:30 p.m. the other night. Like Alex just goes live when he wants, literally just when he wants. So like he said there, tap the post notification bell to stay up to date for when Alex go live.
If you don't agree with me as well, you might as well. If you don't agree with me, I'm on my own, so you can target me there. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean, and ask me the questions there.
He's saying it right there. If you guys want to cook Alex, you can go over to his chat. Try cook, but ask some questions, and he'll be happy to answer. Big up to everyone in the chat though. Big up to you guys because it's been a long day. I can't let everyone know. It's been a long day, Ellie. A lot of streams, been busy, but we're getting into the season, so it's gonna be even busier as we go on. Tomorrow we're back 1 p.m. I say 1, it might be 12:30 or 1. We're back with Tottenham Transfer News Show, and then 8 p.m. I know you didn't see our regular face today, Mr. Ashmatic, but he's gonna be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. with Marlon. We've got the Spurs Kings together. We got the contingent together for the first time. I don't think I've ever done a show with Ash and Marlon for like as long as I've known them together. So we got them coming over to the channel, people. Make sure you look out for that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. But away from that, big up to everyone inside. I'm going to send you guys over to Mike's channel where him and Elijah, I don't actually know what they're doing. I'll be honest. I just know Elijah's going over there doing some type of, it says summer series in it. I don't know if they're referring to the football summer series or these lot have got some summer series content going on. I don't know, but make sure you drop a DRD raid in the chat when you go over there and just let them know that you've come over from your boy. And yeah, man, look, until next time, people, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.